I've been making Roblox games for a long time, and I can't even count the amount of times I've started making games without finishing them, but there's one time that I finished a game that I really think about often that's called Boom People Off a Base Plate. Wait, no way, I actually misspelled that. Oh my god. And in the game you get a red cube, and basically what it does is it makes explosions. You can definitely tell that the game is 5 years old. It is not the best, and I kind of just grabbed some random script off the internet and I was like, yep, this is a game. Basically all you do is you just use your explosions to try and fling people off the base plate. I showed it to all my friends and family and stuff, and I made a big deal out of it, even though it's not a big deal, but I was pretty proud of it. And a few years later, me and my friend Nuclear remade the game and turned it from Boom People Off a Base Plate to Explosion Game. Explosion Game is basically just a better version of Boom People Off a Base Plate. The flinging is a little bit better too, because it always kills people. And one time I was just playing Minecraft with my friends, and Nuclear brought up Boom People Off a Base Plate, and I just started thinking. And I got an idea. I'm going to make pancakes tomorrow. And then 2 days later I decided to recreate the game. But I was not ready for what was about to happen. This game was going to be a lot harder to make than I thought. Because the game was just so unorganized. There were scripts in the most random places, folders inside folders. I could not handle it. And this was all because of Nuclear. It's his fault. He made this super unorganized and ruined the game. That's a joke obviously, because I would not be able to make this video without Nuclear. But if I'm going to make this game better, I'm going to start by changing it from R15 to R6, because R6 is just better than Rthrow. You can't change my mind. It's terrible. Get that out of here. By the way, I don't know why, but the lighting just looks like an Xbox 360 game. I don't know what happened to it, but it just looks like that, I guess, and I just gotta leave it that way, because I don't know how to fix it. And the explosion part is basically just the same thing. I just did some slight changes to it, but I feel like the game could look better. How exactly am I gonna do that? It needs some animations. I started by making an idle animation. I just started moving the torso around and trying to move the arms to make it look like it was breathing. I was kind of going for a Sans from Undertale kind of idle animation, and it ended up looking like this. Bro really looks like he needs to use the bathroom. I also made a second idle animation that doesn't play as often, where the character looks at his watch. I wanted it to look kind of like Sonic when he looks at the camera. I actually have a hat of this. It has Sonic on the front and it has I'm Outta Here on the back. It's probably my favorite hat. Wait, how did it get so dusty? By the way, I'm not gonna lie, that whole segment was just so I could show you my hat. I just really like my hat. And now both of the idle animations are in the game, and they look pretty good in game. Definitely a lot better than just in the animation editor. I then added some running animations and jumping animations and stuff. It definitely looks a lot better, and it just fits the game way more than the default Roblox animations. I'm pretty happy with this though. And it also feels a lot better to blow stuff up now with these new animations. But I kind of wanted to make it that the longer you run for, the faster you go. Kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog. That is totally a good example. And I found a pretty simple tutorial for what I was trying to do. So I'm just gonna follow along with the tutorial. And by follow along, I mean hippity hoppity, your code is now my property. And so is that joke apparently. I also made a quick little slide animation so the players can slide. And now you can run around and gain momentum just like I said. And slide under objects, which looks really good. And the movement system is definitely a lot better than it was before, because before it was just walking. I also added some cool effects for when you're running fast. Look, see those little speed lines on the side of the screen, so that way it just looks cooler. And outside of the Explosion Maker being called Explosion Maker, so I renamed it to Boomer because it goes boom. And I then tried making a map, but it was a failed attempt because I found out that the players were literally just fast enough to jump over the entire map, which could be problematic because they should not be able to do that. I obviously had to turn this down, but imagine if I kept this in. What if you're just casually playing the game and then the first thing you see is this? Yeah, but at some point, for some reason, none of the meshes were loading and none of the animations were playing and the game was just fully broken. I was worried that the game was just gonna not work. But then I pressed F9 and I got a whole new perspective. Roblox was down again. But the next day I got right back to work and I made an entire map just for the game. It was a lot of effort because I try to make it very fun to run around. There's lots of different things you could do. You could either jump around on top of everything to stay above, or you could slide under objects to get more cover. It's pretty fun and very cool, I guess. Look here. See, I slid under this and now I have more cover. And then I go and jump up here and I get to see more of the map. Lots of different ways you could play. And then when you go under here, it's a whole room just for you. I also invited my friends to play the game to see what they thought, and it went about just how you'd expect it to go. But the game was just as chaotic as I wanted it to be. Everyone running around trying not to get blown up, but also trying to blow each other up. It is very chaotic and kind of fun. I mainly just died the whole time though. But I did get a few kills every now and then. But I do need to say that the kill sound effect is the Taco Bell sound effect. I know that it's a dead meme, but when the original game was created, it was not a dead meme, and it was everywhere. That's why it's in the game, and I'm just gonna leave it that way because it's funny. And yeah, that's just what I'm gonna do. But I was really not joking when I said that most of this footage is just me dying. It's literally all it is. And when I did get kills, it was not very often. That is for sure. And Manface was probably the most annoying one because he was always jumping around and he was just really fast because he plays a lot of movement games. But when a few people get in one area to start fighting each other, it gets really intense. And I can't even imagine what this would be like with a full server. And at some point, I somehow got stuck in a wall, but I was still able to get a kill. I don't even know how that happens. And this is probably my favorite clip because I can't even tell what's happening and I still got 2 kills. It was ridiculous. And this right here is what happens when everyone in the server gets in the same area. It causes chaos. But while we were playing it, we found a lot of bugs, so I made sure to write down all my friends' complaints so I could fix them. I started by giving the boomer a cooldown, and then I wanted the sliding to be better because I got complaints from everyone that it wasn't that good. So I made the holes bigger, first of all, because it was really hard to fit in them. And I also did some adjustments to the speed of the sliding and other things. So now the gameplay just feels a lot smoother and it's more fun to play. And you could now get under objects and slide through holes a lot easier, which is way better than before, that's for sure. But I was getting kind of tired of everything just being gray, so I went around and just recolored every single structure in the game to random colors. It does look like I just vomited colors all over the place, but it's better than just completely gray like it was before. And just building the map was already hard enough. You can't actually expect me to carefully texture everything. So now the map looks somewhat nicer, and I also added a bunch of random hazards and stuff that you could fall into, like just random pits. And I also made it that the walls surrounding the place are gone, so that way you could just end up getting sent out of them or something, like Fallout or just... Wait, Fallout? What am I even talking about? And then spent a little while making a kill system, so that way you can actually track your kills and stuff, and I also just made it easier to detect when someone dies. Okay, so the game is now available in the link in the description on Roblox, but I'm honestly not too happy with it. It's pretty good, but it's just so broken and weird, and I want to fix it. So if you want to see me make this game better and just make it an actual good game, then you should subscribe, because I might make a part 2. Okay, that's the end of the video, but before you go, I just gotta say thanks for 2,000 subscribers. It's actually insane. And also, I kind of tried something new with this video, as you can see with all the animations and stuff. I want to make the rest of my videos like that, but I hope that I can keep up my upload schedule once a week with that, because it is pretty hard to do all these animations and stuff. It's a lot of effort. I took some inspiration from YouTubers like the Russian Badger and stuff like that do lots of animations. I might make some shorts, actually, but not like the usual YouTube shorts, just like random animation ideas that I have. I don't know, but yeah, that's the end of the video, and goodbye.